It was Halloween, and my friend and I had tickets to go to a show that night. Our plans were simple enough: go to the show, enjoy the nightlife of the city, and then return to our hotel room for rest. Little did we know that our Halloween night would take a turn for the worse. Upon arriving at the hotel, we were met with a strange and unsettling odor that permeated throughout the room. We exchanged puzzled glances and contacted the hotel's concierge to request a room change. However, our hopes were dashed when we were informed that all the rooms were occupied. We had some time to kill, so we searched other hotels, but all in the area were booked full, leaving us with no other option but to endure the unpleasant odor. After a long drive, I took a much-needed shower to refresh myself and get ready for the night. My friend and I had a blast at the event, immersing ourselves in the Halloween spirit. The night was filled with laughter and unforgettable moments. As we made our way back to the hotel, we couldn't help but notice the eerie atmosphere that had settled over the city, with people in costumes and the air thick with the supernatural. We entered our hotel room, hoping to find shelter from the chilly night, only to be greeted by the same foul smell that had greeted us earlier. Annoyed and disgusted, we demanded to be moved to any available room, but again the front desk said all rooms were full. They gave us a full refund for our troubles. With that, we went back up to our room. Perhaps it was the drinks we had enjoyed earlier, or maybe it was just curiosity that got the best of us, but my friend and I decided to investigate the source of the noxious smell. We began to sniff all around the room, searching for clues, and soon realized that the odor was most concentrated around the bed. We dropped down to the floor and searched under the bed, but found only dust. Then we meticulously examined each sheet, only to find that they were clean and appeared to be freshly changed. We removed the sheets and inspected the mattress. The mattress, while showing signs of wear, seemed entirely normal. We ran our hands over it, testing for anything out of the ordinary. The mattress felt firm around the edges, with a slight indentation in the center, which seemed consistent with the age of the hotel. We exchanged glances before silently agreeing to continue. We pushed the mattress off the bed. Screaming before us was the smell of death, erupting out of a hole in the fabric that lined wooden planks on the box spring. Fighting nausea, I peered into the gap, and that's when our world unraveled in sheer horror. Hidden beneath the mattress, concealed within the box spring, lay a decomposing corpse, drained of all blood, and cut into gruesome pieces with the head, eyes wide open, peering back at me. The sight was a nightmare incarnate, a grotesque realization into the horrors that have occurred within this very room that defied all reason. Terror gripped us, and we screamed in unison, unable to comprehend the gruesome discovery we had just made. I rushed to the restroom, unable to hold back the nausea that surged within me, while my friend followed, equally overcome with revulsion. With trembling hands and racing hearts, we made our way to the front desk, where we frantically reported the nightmarish scene that had unfolded in our room. The staff's faces contorted with a mixture of shock and disbelief as they listened to our ghastly tale. The thought of how many people might have unknowingly slept upon the rotting remains of another person haunted us, casting a shadow of dread over our already traumatized minds. Sleep eluded us that night, as we were tormented not only by the horrifying image we had discovered, but also by the chilling realization that we had unknowingly shared our room with death on Halloween night. It was Halloween night, and the streets were alive with the excited chatter of children in costumes, eager to fill their bags with candy. I was out trick-or-treating with a group of friends, but as the night grew late, my best friend Emma and I decided to head back to my house. With my parents still out at a Halloween party, we were looking forward to a night of horror movies and candy. It was meant to be a night of fun and mischief. However, our evening took a turn when Emma realized she had lost her cell phone during our candy hunt. Panic gnawed at her as she retraced her steps, her anxiety growing with each passing minute. In an attempt to locate the lost device, I dialed her number, expecting to hear its familiar ringtone. To our chilling dismay, a whisper, both eerie and indecipherable, seeped through the phone's speaker. Our hearts froze as the inscrutable voice murmured cryptic words. We exchanged nervous glances, convinced it was one of our friends playing a cruel Halloween prank. Attempting to unmask the prankster, we decided to check the phone's location using my computer. What we discovered left us trembling with fear. The location marker pointed directly at my house. Swallowing our unease, we convinced ourselves that it was a harmless joke. Filled with false bravado, we embarked on a thorough search of the house. We searched the first floor and the second floor, but found nothing. All that remained was the attic. We ascended the narrow attic stairs, the air growing colder and heavier with every step. My trembling hand gripped my phone, providing a false sense of comfort and safety. I turned the lights on, half expecting and half hoping one of our friends to jump out of the shadows as soon as the feeble beams of light that barely pierced the oppressive darkness gave away their hiding spot. Our nerves were on edge as we scanned the attic, the sense of foreboding intensifying with each passing moment. Though we had initially dismissed the whisper as a prank, the heavy silence and gloomy atmosphere weighed on us like a sinister presence. Emma encouraged me to search the attic thoroughly, her voice trembling with a mix of dread and determination. I reluctantly agreed. My trembling hand activated my phone's flashlight mode, sweeping the dim light through darkened spaces. The tension in the air was palpable. A suffocating dread gripped our very souls. As I inched closer to a pile of boxes of long-forgotten holiday decorations, my heart pounded in my chest. The flashlight's unsteady glow revealed nothing unusual. I hesitated, my nerves fraying, but Emma's persistence urged me forward. And then it happened. A shadowy figure hidden amidst the boxes suddenly sprang to life, brandishing a knife with deadly intent. My instincts kicked in just in time, and I evaded back, narrowly avoiding the blade's lethal swipe. My heart thundered as I stumbled backward, a blood-curdling scream escaping my lips. Emma and I raced out of the attic, our footsteps echoing through the house as we descended to the first floor. Panic and terror fueled our escape as we burst out of the front door, gasping for breath in the cold Halloween night. With trembling hands, we dialed the police and my parents, who arrived at the house soon after. The police conducted a thorough search of the house but found nothing amiss, except for Emma's shattered phone. The night's chilling events remained a haunting memory, shrouded in darkness and fear. The eerie whispering voice and the figure in the attic lingered in our nightmares, a stark reminder that the mysteries of Halloween night could be far more sinister than any ghost story. On a Halloween night several years ago, in a quiet suburban neighborhood, a chilling event unfolded that sent shivers down the spines of those who witnessed it. The night was cool and breezy, with the moon casting an eerie glow over the streets. Children in costumes roamed from house to house, their laughter filling the air. But as the night grew darker, a sense of unease settled over the neighborhood. It was during a Halloween party at the Thompsons' house that the strangeness began. The Thompsons were known for hosting the best Halloween parties in the neighborhood, and this year was no exception. The house was decked out in spooky decorations, and guests in elaborate costumes filled every room. As the evening wore on, The partygoers noticed something odd. The clocks in the house had stopped, frozen at exactly midnight. At first, it was dismissed as a Halloween prank, but as the minutes ticked by, unease turned into genuine concern. Outside, the wind picked up, and the temperature dropped to below freezing. The guests began to notice that their breath formed frosty plumes in the cold air, despite being indoors. Unnerved whispers spread among them as they tried to make sense of the bizarre occurrences. Then, the lights flickered and went out, plunging the house into darkness. Panic set in as guests stumbled over furniture and each other in the pitch blackness. Someone tried to call for help on their cell phone, but there was no signal. As they fumbled for flashlights and candles, they heard strange noises encircling them, seemingly always out of sight and out of reach. Unseen footsteps echoed through the house, and eerie whispers filled the air. It was as if they were not alone in the darkness. Terrified and disoriented, the guests decided to venture outside, hoping to find help or answers. But when they opened the front door, they were met with a sight that sent chills down their spines. The neighborhood, once alive with the sounds of children and laughter, was now eerily silent. The streets were empty, and the houses stood in darkness. It was as if time had stopped for the entire neighborhood. With a growing sense of dread, the partygoers realized that they were trapped in a nightmarish limbo, a Halloween night frozen in time. No matter how hard they tried to leave, they found themselves right back where they started. Hours turned into days, and the partygoers grew increasingly desperate. They tried everything to break free from the relentless cycle of Halloween night, but it seemed impossible. It was as if the very fabric of reality had unraveled. As the days turned into weeks, the guests slowly began to lose hope. They lived in a perpetual Halloween night, surrounded by darkness and the chilling echoes of the past, and no one from the outside world ever came to rescue them. To this day, the Thompsons' house stands as a haunting reminder of that Halloween night, a place where time itself stood still, and where those who entered were trapped in a never-ending nightmare. The neighborhood was forever changed by the inexplicable events of that fateful Halloween, a night that continues to defy explanation.